Hi again folks, how you all doing? This is a Mainline Dean Goods locomotive that a chap called Kevin got in touch with me about. Now, I know I'm on record as saying I wasn't going to do any more mainline locomotive repairs along with Replica railways and some Dapols for various reasons, but while this is a mainline model, it's not the usual split chassis carry-on. This is a tender-driven model and it's exactly the same as the Airfix and I think the later Hornby version. So this is going to be pretty much the same as my 4F, which is a Hornby one, but it uses it's basically the Airfix tooling. Kevin said it's noisy and needs a bit of help, so let's see what happens when we turn on the power. Nothing. Is it going to go at all? Yeah, there's a wee bit of life in there, but not much. So we'll get us to the bench and see if we can sort it out. Let's see if we can get it backed into the shed, or we're going to have to shunt it or shove it. Come on, come on. Come on, you can do it. So this is the first Dean Goods locomotive I've been sent to look at. Nice locomotives, being Great Western, maybe don't quite fit on my layout, which is primarily LNER and LMS, but and Caledonian of course. But I wouldn't mind one of these for my layout in the BR livery like this. I do like my 060 locomotives, and in particular my 060 tender locomotives. So yeah, I like these. So let's get a closer look at this. We've got some crew in there. All seems to be in reasonable condition. Oh, the wires connecting the locomotive to the tender are broken, and that's just where they've been rubbing against the metal drawbar there. You know, the drawbars, those two very thin pieces of metal, so quite sharp edges, and looks like the wire's just been rubbing against it, and it's gone right through. But other than that, yeah, wheels are needing a good clean. We've got a traction tyre missing on this wheel here. Right, okay, let's get this apart. Yeah, I wouldn't say I've absolutely flat refused to work on mainline or Replica railways models. It's more a case of I'd just rather not. The screw's a bit stripped, I think. Apart from the split chassis thing and the problem you have with the axles, yeah, that screw's completely stripped. There's any problems with the gears, which most of them will have a problem with the gears causing a lot of noise. You can't really get the replacement gears for them, so it's hard to do successful repairs on them if they're in that kind of state. And it's kind of a bit almost self-defeating, to work on a locomotive, clean it, service it, and it doesn't run any better or sound any better after doing so. You feel that you're just kind of wasting your time with them. But I totally get that, if you're after a particular locomotive, maybe an old mainline or Replica railways is your only option if you're after something, in particular like that. But I would personally try and stay clear of them. Does this come off? Yep, there we go. Ooh, that's a big I don't think that's lead. I think that's just a big lump of die cast over the top of that. I thought this was going to be very familiar territory, but no, there's a surprise straight away. There we are. So yeah, there we go. This will have about 40 million gears in it, but never mind. This will probably pop out now, or should do. There we go. But unfortunately the wires go through and you can't get that off very easily. These wires are a bit of a mess. I'll stick a battery in this just now. Oh, there's a gear missing. Oh dear. This gear here is missing from there. I'll need to go and check the packaging that this came in just to see if it's lurking about in there. So no, check the packaging and no sign of any little gear. Fortunately, I have a spare one of these that's got a full set of gears, so I can take it out of here. Right. That's what I'm after. So how did that manage to come out of there? But we'll get that put in. I'm hoping all this is going to need is service the motor and then clean up the pickups, put some new wires in, and it, what is that? Two little metal things. And there's the springs, there's the brushes. I don't know what these are. They look like a detail of something. Is that handrails? Is that the handrails from the locomotive? Kind of looks like it. I think that's the handrails from the locomotive. Managed to get themselves sucked into the motor. Undo these screws, which don't actually do very much, these screws. This comes off like that. This thing has so many gears in it, so that there's gear on each of the drive wheels, so that's 3, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gears on the side there, and inside here is a very strange gear arrangement. And there we go, inside. So how many gears did we have? With 6, 7, 8, 9, and we've now got 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 cogs in total in this motor. Now there's a plastic keeper here that we need to take out, and then we can pull the armature out and get access to the commutator. Give that a wee scoosh. We'll just do the T-cut thing on this. 2 little nylon washers on here, which we'll just leave. Give that a scoosh. Brush with the manky brush to get all the crap out from between the teeth of all the gears. I think we'll put these ones into soapy water, give them a scrub. Right, gears clean and dry, so we'll give them a file. Just take the manky brush to the gears on the wheels and give them a scoosh. Okay, so everything clean and dry, we can start to put this back together. So we'll get some oil into these armature bearings, and then I want to assemble these little gears. We'll get some grease in there. So there's 3 gears fit in here. The one I've just put in has a little shaft, and then there's one that's got a smaller hole that will fit in there. That's the one the armature goes through, and then there's this one goes on the top. Get lots of silicone grease in there, like that. Put the armature through, like so. Put this keeper on, and then we can plonk this back on, like so. Just make sure that those turn freely. So we'll get some grease on these spindles. Right, so this was the gear that was missing. Goes in there. Put the other one there. And then these little ones fit in there. And there. And these big ones fit. I've done a stupid thing. Schoolboy error. I've fitted this down, but I need to do that while I fit this gear. Right, okay. Just kind of forgot how this goes together. Let's try that. Go on, get in. I think that's it. So these wires, yeah, they're pretty much shot, I think. Just desoldering the wires from the brush holders. Pop the brushes in, put these on. Okie dokie, does that go with the battery? So I want to see what state the pickups are in this. Hopefully they're okay, but I'll need to fit new wires. Yeah, the pickups are okay. That's good news. Just all going to need a bit of a brush out. Okay, so we'll see if we can replace these wires. I don't want to remove this part of the underframe if I can help it. Keeps all the pickups in place, and it's a right fiddle to refit this and get all the pickups right. So we'll see if we can. Brake rods are a bit loose. We'll see if we can do it without removing that part of the underframe. So I think we'll just snip these wires there. Right, do these pull out? Yes, they do. Now the question is, can I feed wires through there? Right, I'm going to thread that wire. Can I get this one through as well? I think I might get lucky here. There we go. That's a relief, because I really didn't want to have to remove that plate. Strip these and see if we can solder them. Okay, to feed these wires through there. Get these wheels in place. One there, one there, and that one there. And then that clips over. That. Just check the wheel spacing before doing anything else. 14.1, 14.8, no, and 14.6. Alright, okay. These tend to go in and out very easily, but it should be okay. Put that over there like so. There we go. I've got the locomotive on upside down. What an absolute donut. Oh, jings. It's going to have to come out. Turn that around. That back. Okay. So you can see here there's been a bit of a catastrophe with the way the body fits on. see how we can repair that. Okay, I've just done the old switch the camera off and forget to switch it back on again trick. It really annoys me when I do that. What I've done is I've glued this up because this was badly cracked and broken. There's a little gap here for the wire to go through. I'm not sure that's original, but it makes kind of sense to have a little gap there, the way that wire sits. So let's see if we can get this plonked on. I also put some super glue into the hole for this screw because it was a bit stripped. Right, the coupling on the rear here doesn't have a hook. I don't think it's the original coupling. Let's just see if we can fit something. This is an old Airfix coupling that I've doctored a little bit, and it'll fit on there. There we go, that's a bit better. Now, one last thing is the handrails on this locomotive, the back of the cab here, which had found their way into the motor. I'm going to see if I can possibly stick them on. Unfortunately, on this side, the top little bit that should be sticking out, like that one does, is broken off. So we'll see if we can stick something on. I'm just cutting a tiny wee piece of plastic that I've cut off a cable tie, holding it in forceps, otherwise it'll just ping away, never to be seen again. We'll give that a go. I'll spot the super glue on there. Okay, we're trying to stick these little handrails where they're supposed to go at the back of the locomotive here. Extremely difficult to do because there's no little holes for them to plug into or anything. They're just going to have to be kind of put there. So I think what I'm going to try is some tiny wee bits of black tack at either end of the handrail, just to hold it in place, and then we'll glue it. I've tested black tack with super glue, and the black tack doesn't react to the super glue, but if I put some baking soda onto the super glue, it should harden, and then we should be good. Should have done this before I fixed it onto the tender, but never mind. Super glue on there. Some at the bottom there. And we'll just pop some baking powder on the glue. Kind of hard to get the baking powder exactly where you want it to go, but it'll brush away from where it's not sticking to the glue, so that's fine. Right, we touch of black paint and we're done. Just one last thing, a bit of oil in the linkages. And there we go, Mainline Dean Goods locomotive in running order again. Right, let's go and pull it out the shed and see how it goes round the layout. Okay then, out she comes. So that's this old Mainline Dean Goods sorted out and running quite smoothly, although a bit noisy, but it's just the noise these motors make. There's far too many gears and far too much plastic. But having said that, these motor bogies have a lot of pulling power. That's why I use the 4F for shunting dead locos. So yeah, the main issues there were the missing gear and the broken wires. Luckily I had a couple of spare Airfix motor bogies, which is partly thanks to donations of bits and bobs from people. So to those of you who've sent me scrap locos and boxes of bits and pieces, thank you very, very much, and you can see how that helps me help others. So, it's all good, and if anyone else has old spares lying about they don't think they're ever going to use and would like to send me, please get in touch, because you never know what might just come in handy. So yeah, replaced the missing gear, fitted new wires, cleaned and lubricated everything, and fixed on those little handrails on the cab, which was really fiddly. Oh yeah, another thing I did was I took the traction tyres off the middle drive wheels on the tender, because these motor bogies run far better with the middle traction tyres removed. They're much more stable. Other than that, this is running really nicely. Just ignore the noise, but enjoy the power. Right, okay, I'll get this packed up and sent back to Kevin. Catch you later, folks.